Jason Duffney, one of the owners here at Earthworks. Michael's running this entire job. Michael has been building ponds with us for probably close to 7 years now, but it's probably the first job that he has sold and will install. So that's kind of interesting. We like to see people grow in the company, and so he's gonna be taking over a lot of my roles with selling water features. And so people that are watching this, you're gonna be seeing him more often, which is a really nice thing.
Good morning, it's Mike Q with Earthworks. This is the Stanton residence. This is someone else's construction here. This is not our building. Our job though today is demoing and prepping for a brand new install out here. So luckily we got 2 crews out. I'm gonna get a lot of work done. We got Sydney, he's running the second crew for me. So right now I'm trying to get everything pretty much down to a clean slate. I got Sid and his main guy Jackson right now working on transplanting all the plants out of the way that we will eventually be reinstalling around the new water feature. I got my crew today, Danny over here, and Tony's down in the pond getting all the water out, prepping for us to rip that old liner out. You can see their plumbing coming in over these rocks, which is probably what it used to do, just spill over this, hit the leaves and go in. As far as design goes, they do have a deeper pooling section on top that spilled over this awkward wall right here into their pond where their skimmer's at. Design-wise, when we're gonna come in and redo this, we are gonna keep a deeper stream to give them that same kind of pooling effect, which is neat because I typically don't do that all the time unless it's requested, which it is here, so that'll be fun. They have a bunch of really nice featherstone right here. This stuff is extremely light. It's gonna make us all look like we're super strong, but we're gonna be reusing some of that. They have a bunch of flagstone that was moored together by a different contractor. It's already cracking and everything like that. We're gonna try to salvage some of that. We're gonna save some of these plants, like the Robellini staying exactly where it is. All of that, besides the weeping holly, is gonna come out. So fresh new look with a couple existing mature trees staying. As far as reusing this featherstone, it's not always the easiest thing to do for someone if they have an existing water feature. Not all rock really works aesthetically. Luckily, this featherstone is actually really nice, and you can see there's beautiful just little small growth on it, which gives it a super naturally like old look. Some of the challenges is, you know, just style. Like if the homeowner has an all flagstone built pond, we don't build with only flagstone. So in that case, it's just expectations with the homeowners. Some of this stuff we're gonna chuck, get rid of. We know it's not gonna look how we want it to look. And Earthworks, you know, we hold a standard, very natural looking stuff. So we wanna not sacrifice the look just for, you know, reusing stone if we don't have to. So we have that going on. Also, you can see above us, we have super mature oak trees that everyone knows gets a little messy. So on this pond here, they just have a small above ground filter. So we're gonna do an upgrade with the new construction. We have a 6,000 biofall, which is a biological upflow filter. 6,000 is the largest size that they have, and it's a little, as far as this size pond in a different location without the trees, I would say it's a little overkill, but since there's gonna be so much debris dropping in, that skimmer is gonna be working super hard. So we wanted to beef up the filtration just so the water quality stays really nice and clear for them.
All right, actually, so we're walking back, and you'll notice here at the end of the driveway, we've got a bunch of rock staged. So I know for a fact they're not at that point where they're using rock, but they've started to break it down and kind of cherry pick. So when we come out, we have lots of rock we bring. So this project's gonna have probably somewhere in the 7 to 8 tons. So the featherstone that's gonna be used in the backyard, homeowner already had a bunch of it. So they're gonna reutilize a lot of that, and we're deciding to mix it with the Tennessee fieldstone. We think it's gonna be a nice jive because with a lot of weird rocks, it's hard to mix the two together. But we're expanding her pond and upgrading it and giving it more of a facelift. So we have to add some rock. And this doesn't look very pleasant, but we have to wheelbarrow all this to the backyard. But it will make it or break it if we get this to the backyard. This is day number 2, and I was just talking about how Michael is the one that actually sold this job and is going to install it. But hey, Sean, where's Mike?
Mike is sick today.
Mike is, they keep saying Mike is sick today. So let me show you why they're saying Mike is sick today. He's actually got a fever, but where you see Danny right there, that's why they feel Mikey's sick today. There is a very unpleasant surprise with a stump in the pond. So right where the pond is going to be ending, there's an old tree. What's a good thing is it's not any of the major root systems running from these trees up above, because we do not want to affect those. But there used to be a tree growing right up there, and that's what we hit. So it's right at the end of the pond, but we want to do it the Earthworks way, and we don't want to sacrifice and just skimp on, you know, making the pond shorter, because that's what the last contractors did on this project. So you see that big fat stump, and that's what they're going to be working on for the better part of today, and that's why Michael is sick. So Sean will be working on getting the biofall hooked up today. So we have the biologic filtration, running the plumbing down, getting the skimmer ready, and these guys are probably going to crank on that thing closer till almost lunchtime. It'll take a while to get that thing out.
This is it would be technically 2.5 days of construction. So we're getting towards the tail end of things. The crew's been working extremely hard on this. Hasn't been easy either. All the materials, you know, 50 yards away, big rock. You can see the size of what we're working with here, like takes up the whole wheelbarrow. This is how wheelbarrows get damaged, by the way, building ponds. We got Glenn here. He's rinsing all the rock down, getting all that fine sediment off everything. We have our skimmer. We kind of pulled the shape of it more this way, but still allowing some area for landscape to kind of conceal everything with the electrical and skimmer lid. Glenn right here is standing on the fish cave, which is a really neat feature. We usually don't build them like that, so it's a special one. Numerous lights. We got 2 3 watts in here and 6 1 watts throughout this entire thing. Really neat part about this is we have 2 spillway bowls. I decided to put one on the left side that's going to be dumping straight into the pond, and that's right next to the waterfalls entering in to the pond. So this is going to be a lot of action coming in here. Fish are going to love it. Now on this side, we got a nice plant pocket for the aquatics. We have another one over there behind Glenn. Just really nice movement. So to balance off that spill bowl, since they're so colorful and they give a nice pop to everything, put one on the opposite side. Instead of having it go into the pond, this one's going to be dumping into the stream. The existing rock that was out here, they had this real coarse featherstone. It's super light. I only used 2 pieces of it actually in the water feature, and the 2 that I chose had bromeliads growing. They're already rooted on the rock, so this is a treat for me. Gives it that really like Jurassic tropical look to it, and you get that right off the bat. Instead of trying to train something on it, it's already trained to work there. So we got the 6,000 biofall with all the foliage we talked about. That's going to be dropping in here. That's plenty of filtration for this. And basically this is just going to be a real tight crouching waterfall coming in. Nice deep stream. That's one thing that the homeowner kind of wanted to keep, was not necessarily a 2-tiered pond, but just something a little bit deeper than we typically build. So this will hold roughly, you know, 4 to 5 inches of water as it rises. Then it'll hit the falls and go down into the pond. The rest of the featherstone did this nice retaining wall up here, just to build that elevation up high. Plenty of landscape area to make this biofall disappear too. This is like the middle of my thigh. You know, this is 2.5 feet tall here, and I would rather do this so we're not sloping down into someone else's yard, creating a drainage problem for them. all the surrounding elevation is exactly how it was. We came in here, built this wall to give us that height for our top waterfall. So this is gonna be an awesome one once it's done.
That's a bit of a transformation. Man, so that's where the fish cave ended up at. That's awesome.
And they hang out there, and they also swim in and out of the skimmer. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They'll get used to that after a while. They're chasing after food or whatever.
I've been out here every evening watching the fish play around in the lights and the shimmering in the trees.
Yeah,
from
the
the
lights
and the water moving.
That's awesome.
Wonderful.
I love that.
It is.
Such a different effect.
Yeah, from what I was.
Yeah.
A mosquito breeder.
That's awesome. And that's cool. I don't know if Mike told you, but that's like a whole plant shelf. You can do plants all up and down that gravel. That's going to fill in eventually, of course, but that is awesome. I love these bowls. They turned out really nice in here.
Oh, they do. Everything. It's enchanting. And I love the colors in some of these rocks that are in there.
Yep.
It's really nice.
That turned out nice. Okay, good job. And look at that. He even put the flagstone in for you with the bench up top. That is awesome. So he took just the nicest, biggest pieces that were left over and reused them?
And I have more that I'm going to pile out front so I could add to the wall out there.
There we go. We're happy we get to finally be, you know, in your backyard permanently.
Yes.
Because we've been now, I think, servicing your old pond, I think for at least 8 years now. Haven't we?
Longer
at least
than
8,
that.
if not 10.
Yeah. And I got your present today. A little package in the mail.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yep.
A nice bag and a cup and a hat.
That's
Earthworks
awesome.
hat.
Yep.
A little big, but okay. It'll keep the sun off.
You can use it when you're doing your yard work like today.
Sure. The team of men he had working were so nice and so, I mean, they were spot on, energized, working hard, and cleaned up beautifully. Great team.
So we also threw in an extra skimmer. We had one that was still the older generation, so you guys won't see this many times on the newer ones. But it's a pretty cool, it's the same design, it just has, the new one has new features and stuff to it, but same thing as normal. We've got a basket in here, so you guys can see up above how much canopy she has on this one. I'm sure John does some drone footage on this. There is a lot of tree canopy. And so obviously Sharon does a lot of maintenance to her own property because all that's in here right now is a few leaves. But this does its job. You can notice there's not much going on. Everything gets pulled inside of here, then goes through a filtration, and then through the pump and up to the waterfall, which is the most important part. So this one's cool because Michael had the idea of adding these 2 spillway bowls in this one, and I think it turned out amazing. And you'll notice we have them at different elevations, which kind of creates more water dynamic, but also just gives you a different feel here. There's nothing symmetrical in this backyard, so why would we do these symmetrical, right? So we got them offset. I think one of the cool things is Michael installed this kind of like little catway here with this gravel. This whole entire thing is a plant shelf that can be planted up and give you that softened look. But you have to be careful because you guys' view you're looking at right now is the same thing the homeowner looks at, and we don't want to block this spillway bowl. So careful with that. But one of the other cool things with this entire project is the featherstone. So a lot of the featherstone got used along the back, but there's some really cool pieces that are included in here, and they feel like whatever that loofah is, the actual natural loofah you use for like a shower, it's very porous like that. So these 2 pieces, one here on the right of the waterfall and this piece, had the bromeliads growing in them before. in the existing pond. So Michael was insured, or he made sure to use these in the new pond. And these plants are actually attached to the rock, which I think is really cool. So they're not aquatic, they're just attached to the rock itself. And he did a great job. I love all that water that's split up going down here. All of it's focused in this really tight alley right here. So John will get a close up on that and show you guys. I love how it's a 6,000 biofall that just chokes down and creates that big churning sound, which is a lot of what I'd say 50% of this entire waterfall sound is coming just from that guy right there, which is really cool. Another cool thing Michael did is he made a deep pooling area. Instead of just being a shallow stream, this whole thing is kind of deep so that you can actually have a little bit more options for aquatic plants, what you might want to do in this area. It's about 8 inches deep or so. So I think it turned out pretty cool. Michael did a great job creating a berm wall back there. So all those landscapes planted, and the big major things, her bamboo that's very sentimental to her is remaining. And then we thought this was really cool. This is a yaupon, a weeping yaupon. So we wanted to make sure we saved this too. Everything else came out except that, the robelinis, and then retransplanted back in. So I think another pond done right.
It was sitting there breeding mosquitoes and not having the water move. I was on the verge of having it filled in and making another flower bed, but you have saved me from that. And this is spectacular. It's beyond anything I imagined.